So once you have sorted them into different groups, now you're going to identify your key concepts for reteach. So again, it's going to depend on how students did, right? If everybody got the first question right, then you don't need to really think about that. You can focus on the second and third part for your do now. However, if a bunch of people got the first one wrong, okay, then that's going to be a focus. And again, just keep in mind, if you have a majority that are getting one of these wrong, like a major majority, then you probably actually want to do a full reteach day, which is a different thing altogether. This is talking about if you have kind of a spread of students. So anyway, you're going to identify your key concepts, right? So you only want to focus on 1 to 2 concepts per grouping. Okay, so if you end up lumping in 2 chunks, like people who got this one and this one, you're going to focus on 1 or 2 things. And keep in mind that students who really just nailed it and understood all the way, their do now can really focus on next level stuff and setting them up for the next objective. But everyone else, your do now might want to review a little bit and scaffold to teach. So if I'm looking at this one, so let's just pretend there's an even distribution of answers across these. It doesn't really matter, but for the sake of that, I'm going to identify different. I'm going to identify different concepts for each of these sections. So defining main idea, obviously, if I can't define the main idea, I need some sort of scaffolding to get me to either remembering what the main idea is or telling me again, right? Pretty simple. Identifying the main idea in the text, okay, now I'm going to be looking at concepts that scaffold me towards finding the main idea. So maybe I can define it, I get the general idea, but when I'm looking at a paragraph, it's hard for me to read through and break it down. So maybe then that's the concept. It's how to break down a passage to find that main idea and separate it from the details. Finally, if we're looking at number 3, right, okay, now I'm looking for supporting evidence, so that's a different thing. I understand main idea, but how do I identify supporting evidence from a text, right? So then I'll focus on those. So figure out for each one what the concept is. Again, we're looking at math, right? In this case, this is just, I don't even know what an area model is, so maybe I need some scaffolding to remember that. Maybe here I'm translating, okay, when I see it in equation form, I don't really know what that looks like in an area model, and then a word problem, it's dissecting a word problem. There's probably more to it than that, but really figuring out, again, the different concepts that I need to reteach depending on their answers to each section.